Welcome to the Live Loving live stream with Jhon Davis. Well, hello and welcome to the Live Loving live stream here in the fabulous Jhon of New Studios. I hope you guys are doing well out there in YouTube land. I'm actually doing tremendously well. I want to look over at our comments over here and see who's dropping us, who's joining us. Let's see. Hello, Donna Davidson. How are you? I hope you didn't have any weather where you were. Let's see who queued up. That's cool. That's a cool name. It's a pleasure to be here. It's so much fun to have all you guys. Hi, Kim. How are you? Along with us here. I've been having a tremendous couple weeks. I obviously missed the last live stream because I was repairing a roof leak. I actually was in my hallway and it was a torrential downpour and I saw water coming into my house. And I went out there and I noticed that that there had been an area up top where several shingles were gone and actually the tar paper was gone as well. And we had that storm coming in. The remnants of Helene were coming up here to Ohio, so I had to get up on my roof and I had to get that all covered up before we got a bunch of rain. And I did, and it's all fixed now. I did, as Ashley and I were, Bright Love and I were talking about earlier, I did leave my glasses on the roof, but as you see, I got them back down now. As Bright Love just said, please put all of your questions in all caps, because you guys talk so fast in the chat for me to find the actual questions and answer them. I actually have to jump out and go find them. So it's much easier when they're in all caps for me to be able to answer it. And please go ahead and start putting them in. Put in your questions, your topics you'd like me to discuss and talk about. And I'm a completely open book on these live streams. Whatever you want to talk about, I'll talk about. If I don't know anything about it, I'll tell you that. And if I do have an opinion on it, I'll tell you that. But once again, on these live streams, I'm only speaking my truth. I'm not expecting anybody to take anything I believe as their own. I think we're all on a personal journey, and you have to take what's true for you and find your own personal truth and live your way, your life. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and start putting questions or topics in there, and I will do my best to give you at least my insight on it. I'm going to go ahead and get the words off of my screen here, and that way you don't have to stare at those words all the way through our session here. Kara, hello, how are you? Is it Kara or Kara? I'm not sure. Let's see. M. Wilson, welcome. Tritark, welcome back. You see the glasses are here. Steph loves dogs. Steph loves dogs. I love dogs too, Steph. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to drop down to the bottom here. Healing my vision, I fell. So, blind dog, healing my vision, I fell. Now, let's talk about healing in general. First of all, I hope you're doing well with the fall. Let's talk about healing in general. All healing comes from the belief of the person doing the healing. Biblically, it literally says, it is your faith that heals you. And faith only means belief. It's your present moment belief. And one of the nuances of my personal belief is that healing or any manifestations coming into your experience in motion, that it's literally in motion. So that's why you'll hear me often say I'm receiving perfect health, I'm receiving perfect eyesight, because I believe it's coming into my experience. I think it's really hard to heal something thinking it's going to instantly change. It'd be like a 1,500-pound man saying he was a thin man. He's a hard time believing that because the experience he's having in that precise second is different. But he can say, I am joyfully receiving a healthier body or I am creating and enjoying easy weight loss, and so you're creating this energy, this motion coming in like water coming into your experience, and so to heal your vision, you start changing your belief that you're in the position of having bad vision, and shift your perspective. So I am now releasing that bad vision. I am joyfully receiving perfect eyesight, and you start creating that experience into your life until what happens is you'll start to see a little further, and you'll start to have a little better eyesight, and your eyesight will clear, and then you'll start to find yourself using your eyes more because your belief will change and your experience around that will change. I hope that answers your question. Let me hop back over to the next. Nikki, hello, Nikki D. Let's see. Rosicrucians, they're one of the sects like the Templars, or they're very, very Christian. I don't know a lot about them. I have friends who actually were Rosicrucians, now the modern Rosicrucians. So I don't really know a lot about them, but they do come out of Christianity. Karma contracts, that is absolutely a new age belief, and that new age belief comes out of the 1980s. It was bandied about by a lot of people, like Doreen Virtue and many others. There's nothing about them in ancient texts, soul contracts and all. There's nothing about them in ancient texts or anything. The idea of karma contract, and it's interesting the way you say this with karma contracts, right? Karma in this question, in the original word karma only means what you sow you reap. It's not an over lifetime thing. It's not a multiple thing. That is a very much a 1980s New Age construct. Karma only means what you sow you reap. If you put out crap, you get crap. It doesn't mean multiple lifetimes things. And the idea of contracts is to me one of the most damaging of New Age beliefs, because it takes away free will. It actually takes your ability to create a life without having these certain things or these certain people and these certain things. Personally, for me, now, if you believe it, that's fine. That it's your choice. Every person is on their own spiritual journey. But it really does come down to that technical thing of the idea of a contract, a soul contract, a karma contract. That is very much a 1980s New Age belief. So, Blind Dog. I want to heal my vision. I feel like the 900-pound guy. You started that comment with I want. Your present moment belief is what you're creating into your experience. And right now you're creating want. You have to release the want and say, I am receiving, I am creating, I am enjoying. Release want, need, hope, try, wish, can't, all that. Because all of that does is declare lack in the present. I am receiving perfect eyesight, period. You want to make it even faster? I am joyfully receiving perfect eyesight. And then here's the deal. When you catch yourself in that mode and that feeling of want or need or hope or try, you say, no, I don't want. I am joyfully receiving. And redirect it back until it creates the habit. Because what you're dealing with right now is your present moment experience, and behind you is a series of experiences that are reinforcing that belief. But you can change that belief. There's a famous Buddhist quote that is life is suffering. When they translate it correctly, the actual quote is life is suffering because of our habitual response to our past experience. Change the habit of belief, change the habit of wanting, and switch it to the habit of receiving. I am joyfully receiving. But I want. No, there's no buts, there's no wants. I am joyfully. And just keep redirecting back to here. At first, it's going to seem completely disingenuous. Like, I'm just fooling myself. I'm doing crazy things. But what's going to happen is you're going to create the habit of it. It's kind of like when you have a cat who keeps jumping up on the sofa and you don't want him on the sofa. You squirt that cat with a squirt gun. And that cat jumps up again. You squirt that cat with a squirt gun. You squirt that, and eventually the cat stops getting up on the sofa. With this, you're squirting your subconscious belief with the squirt gun until he stops getting up on the sofa, and now you're just joyfully receiving, and you've changed it. Now, habit, according to science, is created somewhere between 21 and 60 days of repetitive action. So you have to do this for at least 3 weeks just to even get started. So don't beat yourself up when you catch yourself. Just choose your receiving perfect eyesight. And then anytime some thought comes in your head that's contrary, simply negate it and redirect back to where your perfect eyesight being received. And after about 3 weeks, you'll start to see all kinds of changes happening. It'll start to get easier and easier, and you'll have an amazing thing. So that's it. That for me, that was that has helped me on many things. I mean, I cured myself of a broken back. I cured myself of lung cancer. When I got COVID recently, I tested negative in 2 days or 3 days, something like that, because I said, nope, I am receiving perfect health. And so that to me, it definitely has worked for me. It's just a matter of you deciding that it's going to work for you and believing it's going to work for you. This is a great question. My actual first spiritual book that I ever read, besides the Bible, because we had to do all that Bible study with my mom and everything, but was a book called The Celestine Prophecy. And what was so good about the Celestine Prophecy for me was it showed me a lot about, synchronicities and energy and all that stuff, but it put it into this form of an adventure story. So it was an enjoyable read for me, but I was getting all these concepts, and I was trying out all these concepts, and I was experiencing pretty amazing things. But oftentimes people will ask me, what ancient text should they read? And I always tell them this. I suggest you read comedies because you're never closer to God than when you're laughing. Because a laugh has the two key elements of every transcendental experience. It has you being very present and you being completely fearless. Those two things are found in every spiritual experience. And so if you can find your ways to get yourself present and fearless, you're going to have more spiritual experiences than anything. For me, I've done a lot of studying now, but my first spiritual experiences happened long before I read any of it. And to me, it was a matter of just saying, I am doing that. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to do that. And just believing I could do it and just believing I did. And so that's kind of the element to this. But yeah, that'd be a good one to start if you want to have something fun to read and also get some information out of it. Hi, Kara. Well, thanks. You know what, Kara, that's one of the reasons I like the live stream so much is because there are such beautiful people that show up and supportive of each other. See this? There's Kara. Kara. I don't know which it is. Backing me up. Thank you so much. This is a great question. I don't think you need anything in the physical to do healing work. I think that they are all just tools, like tarot cards are tools, or runes are tools, or I think that the world is a product of our beliefs. And one of the things that's really interesting, I'll tell you an interesting story that I don't tell very often. I probably told it on this live stream a long time ago. Used to be a woman that I used to jokingly call the one that I lost. And she had a metaphysical center not far from my house over north of here. And it was a beautiful old Victorian house on this beautiful piece of property. Had a big barn, and it was just really just a lovely property. And I would go up and I would hang out with her, and I would do sessions at her house and do speeches at her house. And one day she said, I want to have a session with you. So I said, sure. So we went out to her garden. We sat in her garden. And I said, what are you hoping to get out of a session? She says, well, I really want to see beyond the veil. I want to see beyond the veil. And I said, okay. So let's declare that that's happening. We grabbed him together, the two of us putting our energy into her seeing beyond the veil. I was like, thank you, God, for the vision beyond the veil that my friend Carol is receiving. Amen. And she was declaring it as well. And as we're sitting there and we're doing this, I suddenly see her face kind of like lose all expression, right? And I'm watching her, and I'm like, Carol, and she's not responding. And slowly she starts to fall, and I grab her and I lower her to the ground, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I killed her, right? And now she's passed away now, so this is years ago. She had all of the stuff of crossing over. Her physical body, her bladder and bowels emptied into her pants. She had all the stuff. My friend Holly was there. Holly called 911, and I get her. She's there, and I'm like this, and all of a sudden the ambulance shows up, and they come over, and she suddenly comes up. Well, she ends up going to the hospital and doing all that, and I come back to visit her again and said, what happened? She says, Jhon, we were doing that, and as you were speaking, I started seeing all of the trillions of dots, all of the particles that make up the world. I started to see beyond this veil, but seeing that the veil itself was everything, and that the illusion of the world was just all of these trillions of dots, and that I wanted to reach out and grab them. And she says, and then my husband showed up, who had been dead for years, and came over and was speaking to her. Right? She like basically met him beyond the veil, but she was having this experience of seeing all these dots and understanding that the universe was just an illusion of belief. Well, what I found really interesting was, ever since my first Kundalini rising, that's how I see the world. I look at that wall over there, and I see the trillions of dots between me and that wall, and this microphone, and this camera. I just see, you look at that wall, it's painted gray, but I see trillions of dots in motion, and I see no depth. So my eyes are functioning very differently ever since my first Kundalini rising. But she was describing it as she was seeing beyond the veil. So to me, it was really very fascinating. That said, crystal skulls, crystal healing, they're all in these illusions, these dots. They're just things that we focus on or we put our attention towards. And I don't think there's any special power in them at all. I just think the special power is from the person who's viewing them or choosing to use them as a tool. But the power always will come from the belief of the person who is believing it. And I hope that answers your question. Steph loves dogs. Well, I'm glad that gives you a new perspective about it, because meditation is a habit. Meditation is a habit. People try to meditate and they don't feel like they can, and they what happens? They go. Their mind keeps throwing in these thoughts, which messes them up. And after a bit of time, they say, I can't quiet my mind and I can't meditate. But the people who get really good at meditation go through the exact same process. They just keep going until the quiet times last longer. They just keep going until it's habitual. And once you create the habit of it, then you create the pattern of it, which then creates the belief in it. And the more belief you have, the more exponential the reality of it is. Oh, Cara, I'm so jealous. My best friend in life is Efthymios Lazaros Gouvas, and I had Greek food from his mom, and it was the best in the world. Go enjoy your Greek food. Javier, I got your question, and I did come from an abusive upbringing, and I overcame it because I chose to set the past down. My father was an alcoholic abuser, and I was the one he didn't like, and so I'm curious why you phrase it the way you did. I asked you a question. Did you come from an abusive upbringing? And then you said, simple question, Jhon. Are you annoyed that I didn't answer it the way you wanted me to? I just want to make sure that I'm understanding why you're asking it that way. I did. My father was an alcoholic abuser, but I put that, like I said, I put that part of my life down. I am the author of my life. I'm not a victim of someone else in my life. And until I choose to write the story of my life, I'll be a character in someone else's. And I choose to create my own. And so I hope that answers your question, Javier. Oh, jumping down. The biggest financial miracle that I have ever experienced or witnessed. Was it 2 years ago? I've told this story many times, but I'll tell it anyway. 2 years ago, I said we had all just come out of COVID, and I had a whole bunch of debt, keeping a roof over my head during COVID. I said, thank you, God, for the abundant income I am receiving to pay off all of my COVID debt before my birthday. Amen. This was February when I said this, and my birthday was in May. And the next day, I got a response to an email I'd written 4 months earlier from a gentleman known as Alex Ferrari from the Next Level Soul podcast. And he says, I'd like to interview you on my channel. I said, great. So I go on, we do the interview, and it gets recorded. And then the day before that interview went live, if you'd have booked a private session with me, you would have talked to me within 5 days. The day after, I was booking 4 months out. At the peak, I got to about 8 or 9 months out. Right now, I'm at about 4 months out again. But I had all of that abundant income within 2 weeks. All the debt was paid off. All of it was paid off. Now I'm going to tell you chapter 2 of that story. So I decided I wanted to buy a truck last year. Now, I had paid off all of my COVID debt, but it was not off my credit score. And I had $10,000 to put down in this truck. And I went out to Toledo. I called the guy in Toledo because I found the truck I wanted. And I said, oh, I've got $10,000 to put down. He says, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a YouTuber. He said, say what? He then ran my credit score. Now, all of that debt was not off my credit score yet, but it was all paid off. It just wasn't off the credit score yet. He offered me an 18% loan. I said, no, that's okay. I'll have all the money by Friday to buy the truck outright. Just tell me how much it is so I can have the check made out. He said, where are you going to get financing? I said, you don't worry. I have means. I hung up the phone. I said, thank you, God, for the abundant income I am receiving to buy that truck outright on Friday. Next day, I'm walking around my house. The phone rings. I answer, hello. Hey, Jhon, this truck's still sitting right here. You got that deposit. You can sign this paperwork. You could be driving that truck today. And then he starts pitching all the extra things he's going to throw my way so I would come buy his truck. Kind of annoyed me because I told him no the day before. But I'm just listening to the things he's saying. And as he's talking, I reach over and I open my email. And I have an email from PayPal. And it says, because of your increased volume of sales, you're now eligible for PayPal loans. How much am I eligible for? I was eligible for $26,000. I took 25 of it. The second I clicked accept, that $25,000 was sitting in my PayPal account. I instantly transferred it to my bank. This guy's still talking in my ear. I go, I just got funding. I'll be there Friday with a check. Just tell me how much it is. He says, what kind of terms did you get? I said, buddy, if I tell you my terms, it's going to really irk you. He goes, well, tell me. I said, well, I got a one-time 10% fee instead of an 18% ongoing percentage. And for every sale I make on PayPal, they're going to take a small percentage off of every sale, and they expect the truck should pay it off in 8 to 10 months. Now, why this is part 2 of the Alex Ferrari story is Friday I went and I picked up that truck. Saturday, my second interview with Alex Ferrari went live, and the truck paid itself off in 62 days. So that... The modern New Age folks talk about the law of attraction. They talk about manifestation. They talk about tithing, even the ancient people talk about tithing. It's all just the marketing of creation. What you think about this moment is what you're creating. And money is just as easy as creating a new house or creating a health, or it's all the same. What you believe about it is what you're going to experience. And when you just come to the point where you can do that naturally and quickly, now you have to understand, I've been doing this since 1999, so I'm really good at it. I've done it a lot. I'm very confident in the fact that I can create anything in my life. So to me, that is really the 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 key to this is that you don't need a method, you don't need a medallion. All you need is belief in the now, and money is just a belief too. Who's my favorite comedian? My favorite comedian used to be Robin Williams years ago, but I have a very deep respect for Steve Martin. I think he is brilliant on so many levels. I used to love watching Craig Ferguson. I miss David Letterman a lot, but I don't follow a lot of the other comedians. I actually worked one time with a very famous comedian. I'm not going to give his name. When I worked with him, I was producing a show in Baltimore, and we brought him in as part of it. He was a very, very famous comedian. And he came into our show, and he was such a complete diva. And our show was a comedy skit show. It wasn't a stand-up show. And he went through and just literally tried to knock everybody else down, saying they didn't have comedy chops. And two of the women who were brilliant comedians. I mean brilliant, not only brilliant comedians, but brilliant songwriters and comedy music. They were just brilliant. And he had them in tears because of the way he was treating them and treating everyone around him. Well, I started talking to him while he was there. I said, what's the next part of what's going to happen with your career next? And he had a marketing team he was working with to become a very famous spiritual authority. And he's kind of doing it. He's out there doing it right now. And if you look at what he's promoting all of the Vatican lied stuff, all of the fear-based ascension stuff. That's saying if you have to you have to do this. If you're not going to be ascending to the 5D with the rest of us, he's pushing all that stuff right now, and he's doing it because he knows it is the way to make a lot of money doing what he does. I just wanted to share that story because I was thinking about him today because I saw an interview with him and he was literally just sharing fear-based stuff as if it was true prophecy, and that really kind of bothered me. I've read Carl Jung's book and books. He has multiples, but I enjoyed what I got. He gets into a lot of jargon that I think as I say often, I think it's all far simpler. I literally do think it's completely simple. Sarah Kay has entered the house. Honky Pete had you die. See, Honky Pete still makes me laugh. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go search Honky Pete on YouTube. You will die laughing. It is hysterical. Hi, Carolyn Galena. Where are you from, Carolyn? Let us know. It's a pleasure. Have you found my channel before? And if not, there's a lot to be said about it. Let me know. You can ask any questions that you may have about your own spiritual journey, things that you'd like to empower yourself in life, and finding a new or broadening your awareness spiritually. Whatever you want to ask, whatever you want to ask about anything. I'm an open book. I'm not I'm not sure where you're getting the concept of premonition theory, but we live in an energetic illusion, as I said, and things are always in motion. Readers are reading the potential of the moment, and oftentimes I think that we can hear things that are coming up. I walk down the street and I hear my name called to me all the time. Like, John, I turn, I look, and there's nobody there. I think that we're always in a state of flux. We are our consciousness, and our consciousness is in the oneness of God. And your son could have been on his way home thinking, I can't wait to get home. And just in that slip of time, you guys may have morphed a little bit of time there, and you might have heard it. So but really, to me, it comes down to understanding that the physical world is really just an illusion of belief, and our consciousness is always connected. When my father died, my sister in Florida saw him looking in the window after he died. And I've met multiple people who, when people die, they look in their windows. So to me, I think it's a slip in time thing. I hope that answers that question. T. Lynn. Well, look at that, Donna Davidson. You got so a tomato displaced you, and now you're celebrating a new home because you thank the universe for it. Awesome. Thank you for the testimony of your own true belief and showing us the power within you so that others can use you as an example. So thank you. Oh, I love this. Yeah, I think getting out into nature is absolutely one of the best ways to reconnect. When you think about nature itself, it's such a fascinating thing. I told this before, but you look at a tree, and those leaves collect water and direct moisture to the roots, and all spring and summer long they're doing that wonderful thing, and then come fall, when the trees start to push roots out further, because that is a time of the year when the trees are pushing root growth, those leaves shrivel up and fall on the ground right on top of those roots and become nitrogen-rich fertilizer at the precise time of the year that those roots want nitrogen-rich fertilizer. So the tree is creating this perfect life cycle, right? And it's a matter of realizing all nature is that way. There's a perfect life cycle. I often question the concept of diet. People want to talk about being a vegetarian or being a carnivore or and I think it depends on lots of things. But I think that if you think about the life cycle of a human, especially one that lives in a colder climate, where there is not fruit and vegetables for 8 to 9 months of the year, normally, naturally. And what happens? They don't have fruits and vegetables for 8 to 9 months of the year. They come into the spring, fruits and vegetables start to grow, and they start to eat them. Now, what's the difference between eating the meat all winter and eating the fruits and vegetables? The fruits and vegetables are all carbohydrate, and they spike the insulin, which causes your body to put on weight. And by the end of summer, you've now got like apples coming out and all these really sweet fruits, and you eat them like crazy because they're so good and they're so wonderful, and you gain a bunch of carbohydrate weight just at the time you're about to go into winter. So you have a little bit extra weight on you. You go into winter, you stop eating those things. You can lose the weight over the winter naturally, right? Now, nowadays our winters are filled with, stews and potatoes and pizza and all the things with all these carbohydrates. But I think naturally the carbohydrate and non-carbohydrate cycle was a natural state, just like the leaves on the trees. That's just my personal opinion on it. Carolyn, you're always welcome. Always welcome. Antoinette's granddaughter, first live with Jhon of New. We are happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to zip down so I can see. Mackenzie, I love this. What new gift will you give yourself each day? Because what this does, it also honors the fact that as being part of God consciousness, yada yada, whatever you want to call it. I call it God because that lady was Catholic, my mom, right? And people always ask me about why is there a green light behind my mom? There's a green light behind my mom because she's the one who gave me the green light. She's the one who said spirituality is a personal journey, and I can go live into my world with the green light to explore my own spirituality, even though she had her master's degree in liturgy and was head of liturgical doctrine in our Catholic Church. So that's why she's there. But this new gift embraces the idea that we're all part of God and that no part of God is less than any other. But, spiritual and highly empathic people tend to want to serve, and they tend to forget to serve themselves. So I love the fact that he said, give yourself a new gift every day. And sometimes that new gift might be, get this, a mug of coffee. Thank you. Decaf, it's nighttime. Great question. This is actually, I talk about this all the time. The subconscious is nothing but a collection of conscious present moment memories with an underlying belief. So your subconscious mind is made up of your beliefs and experiences in your present moment. So the way you change that is to create the habit of belief that is the subconscious mind. And the way you do that is to pay attention to what your subconscious mind is saying about your present moment. We spend 85 to 90% of every day in our subconscious mind. And words are dropping out of our mouth that tell us our experience. Wanting, needing, hoping, trying, wishing, can't, how. These are all declarations of present moment lack. And the way you break that habit of that belief is to catch them and redirect it. If you are creating your experience here in the present moment, that means that the future is where the results are. That's just a residual. So you have to come to this present moment and say, I am joyfully receiving, I am happily creating, I'm wonderfully exploring. But you have to negate those things. So when something comes up and says, I'm trying to, I'm hoping to, I'm wanting to, I'm needing to, you go, no, not doing that. I'm doing this. Now, I'm not saying do affirmations. Affirmations, the rote recitation of an affirmation, isn't what creates it. It's the belief in the now that creates it. Affirmations only work when you believe it's happening now. Prayer only works when you believe it's happening now. So I don't believe in affirmations because the word affirmation itself means I'm shoring something up I have no confidence in. It's a matter of making a conscious choice and accepting nothing less. And when you catch yourself subconsciously saying one of these lacking words, you just say, nope, not doing that anymore. I'm doing this. And you create the habit. Now, as I say, habit is created somewhere between 21 and 60 days of repetitive action. And so it really comes down to creating that habit. And you have to really grab control of your present moment. And when those words pop up out of your subconscious, you just negate them for 21 to 60 days until it becomes habitual to joyfully receive rather than lack. And that is the fastest way to do it. The problem is, I'll tell people this, and most people won't get past a week. And 21 days is 3 weeks. So you've got to come to that space of redirecting your subconscious by choosing your conscious and negating your subconscious for 3 weeks. And don't beat yourself up when you miss one. Just do it as predominantly as you can until it becomes habitual. It goes back to the squirting the cat on the sofa thing. It's the same thing. That's how you create it, and that's how you fix it. And if our subconscious can affect us without direct control, you have to grab the wheel and steer. And the way you do that is to choose in your present moment and accept nothing less. I hope that answers your question there, Tritarch. Those are from direct from memory, and which that is when I painted that picture, and you probably, I'll have to show you this at some point in my life. There are 5 or 6 canvases of paintings that were started, and I just kept going at them until I got the faces right. And I just kept going and 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 kept going. And I'd throw another canvas away and start fresh until because there's a spirit about them. There's a joy about them. There's a laughter about them. And I wanted to get the feeling, and I wanted to show her as she was, especially in this painting. I actually felt that she was more important than he was. I wanted, because it was kind of like showing the world who she was and what she looked like. And so, yes, this comes directly from memory. It is not channeled. I don't channel things like that. This is directly from memory, from regression memory. I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's see where we are. Yeah. You know what, right, love? It's going to be part of a bigger book, because I am so close to finishing the Recovering Catholic book. I cannot tell you how close I am to finishing that book. And I can't wait to get it done, because I've been laboring on that book for so long. I really want that book out. But the next book I write after this is going to be my personal experiences, and Egypt will be a chapter in it. I haven't written about it because I had made a promise to a famous author that he could write about it, but he hasn't done it for 25 years. So I think it's time that I just go ahead and write about it. Adrian's Art and Gardens. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I want to explain something about this. People are always trying to contact me directly. I work 60 to 70 hours every week, 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. 9 to 9, doing private sessions all day and video production in between. Saturdays and Sundays, I typically do my laundry and do my shopping and spend time with my son. I probably get 500 or 600 emails a day. I have a good friend named Noelle who handles a bunch of my correspondences, and thank God she does, because she takes care of a bunch of stuff for me. But I want to if you're trying to talk to me directly, there's only one way to really do that, and that's to get on my schedule, unfortunately. And that is to book a session. Because I literally live off my calendar. I go to my calendar, I go to where I'm supposed to go next. I live off my calendar, I go to where I go next. I don't have a lot of time to respond to a lot of emails, and I don't have time to get into email exchanges with people, like create a new email pal. I can't do that. I just don't have. I just literally don't have the time. It's not that I don't care. It's not, but I just don't have the time. I love what I'm doing for a living. I'm passionate about what I do for a living. But do you remember the movie Jesus Christ Superstar? There's a scene in that movie where the lepers are all trying to, see my eyes, I can hardly see me stand, I can hardly walk. And at one point he says, there's too many of you and too little of me. And that's kind of how it feels sometimes here. I am a compassionate person, I'm an empathic person, and I want to help everybody. But I have to help myself too, and I have to be respectful of my own personal time. If you send me a message through the contact page, usually you'll get a message from either me or Noelle, who will literally give you whatever answer we can. But that is really the only way to get a hold of me, and it will not be a quick response. It'll if I get around to actually responding, it won't be a quick response, because it'll go through Noelle probably first, and then it'll come to me, and if I can do it, I will, or I'll just tell her what to tell you. But I hope that doesn't offend you. But that is basically the truth of the matter. And yeah, I apologize if that sounds in any way, shape, or form harsh. It's not meant to. Great question. He never said he was the Son of God. He always said he was the Son of Man. He also said, greater works than I have done you will do, and ye are gods. It is your faith that heals you. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can ask a mountain to move, and it'll move. When you pray, believe, you shall receive, and you shall. He never once said he was the Son of God. In fact, when Pilate said, are you the Son of God or the King of the Jews? He said, it's you that say I am. He never claimed it. And no, he was a man who found his divinity. He found his oneness with God, and he shared it. And in that regard, he showed us our own potential, our own ability to step into the world and find our oneness with the source, with God, with consciousness, with yada yada, whatever you want to call it. He was a man who found his way, his truth, and his life. And he was showing us that we can too. I hope that answers your question there, James. I'm sorry, Nikki. I'm moving so fast, Nikki. I forgot what you said earlier. That you're saying, "Oh my God," too. I hope that answers your question. I hope that "Oh my God" is a good "Oh my God." CJ Kearns, how are you? See that? This is an awesome statement. I know. I believe. I always have an abundance of what I need or want or need. He believes it, so he has it. Most of us know someone who was, quote unquote, born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They always have what they want. It's because they believe it, because they believe they have it. And JC here is showing, I think I said CJ earlier, JC here is showing his truth. That's awesome. Must be nice. I struggle with basic stuff. I struggle is the present moment belief of I am struggling. Change the belief, you change the outcome. Hey, Georgia is in the house. Hello, Georgia. How are you? Welcome. Don't drive off the road. Yeah, I'm a Craig Ferguson fan. Steve Martin, awesome actor. Him and Robin Williams. Robin Williams in films like Good Will Hunting or Dead Poets Society, The Fisher King. If you guys want to see a fascinating film, The Fisher King was a fascinating film. I loved it. I missed the Craig Ferguson show too, guys. Oh, Carolyn, I hope you didn't have any storm damage, or I hope you're okay. What part of Florida were you in? I used to direct the Florida Renaissance Festival in Fort Lauderdale many years ago. So, yeah, let me know where you are. Scott, thank you so much for the super sticker. You guys don't realize that my only income is private sessions and donations and these super stickers, these things of that nature. So if you like the channel, if you like the things that I'm doing here, and you want to help me with my 60 to 70 hours of work every week, this is the way you do it. And just so you know, the super stickers and all that are awesome, and I love them. YouTube does take 30% of everything that comes through YouTube itself. Just be aware of that. And there's also a donation link in the description of any video that goes directly to PayPal, and it bypasses that 30% if you're interested in that. That's awesome. You can hear your mom calling you. Yeah. Well, you know what's so great? I love you saying this. Now, first of all, I'm going to say to you, Carolyn, that I am is God's nickname. Moses said God's name was I am. I am is also present moment declaration. So you're entering a new phase of life. Now the question then becomes: are you choosing to make this new phase joyful, surrounded by people you love, who love you in return, abundant, doing something that you love and are creating into your life? Are you choosing to make it? Because the reality of it is this new phase that you're going into, it really comes down to you deciding what it's going to be and then believing is that it's coming to pass. And once you do that, you start to see all of that experience. Try Tark. I said tomato specifically to Donna because a long time ago she and I were talking on a session, and we were talking about tornadoes, and I heard in my mind I heard tomato, and then it became a very funny thing between Donna and I where it kind of belittled the tornadoes so they didn't have to be so fearful. And so we just started laughing about the tomatoes coming. So that's why I said that. I said it was very purposeful for me to say that. Well, we're so glad you're safe, Carol, and that's wonderful. And I love the fact that you're helping your community. And you know what, guys? There's a lot of people down there suffering right now, and I was watching the news today. They're still taking boats down roads. So whatever way you send intention or send prayers, let's just take a moment to do that for Florida and North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia, all the damage that has happened. Let's just take a moment and just send our positive intentions to those areas, because it obviously can't hurt and it can definitely help. So let's just take a moment of silence to do that and create a positive intention that way. Okay, let's move on. Larry Adams has made it. Well, Larry, of course. Why even ask? Larry the legend. Oh, that's so lovely. Blessings, including y'all. I love that. Oh, hey, Ashley. Exhale. Jay Bouvet. That's definitely a French name. My grandmother's name was Agnes Desjardins. She was French Canadian. So, welcome. Steph loves dogs. Thank you for the super sticker. That's awesome. Oh, Carolyn, you and I'm going to like you. My mom used to collect cardinals. And when I do private sessions, you can't, I'm sure you can't see it. There's a desk right over here that I do all my private sessions from that sits a little lower. It's a little easier for me this is a very high desk. And right next to that desk is a window. And outside that window is a weeping cherry tree. And probably half the time I'm doing a private session, there's a red cardinal in that tree outside. And I truly believe it's just a sign from Mom saying, hey. But so I love that. So the question is, what does the cardinal mean to you? And was there somebody in your life, or what does the cardinal mean to you, or someone in your life? So that to me is absolutely something. If it comes up that regularly, I think you should definitely look into it. Oh my gosh, Carolyn. I was driving down the road from Delaware back to Ohio, and a bald eagle came and literally hovered over my hood as I drove down the road. So yeah, I see them too. A bald eagle has been in my yard here in Ohio. I get Cooper's hawks. I get red-tailed hawks. I had the giant woodpecker, the really big ones in my backyard. I really, all of those things that are interpreted by you, What do they mean to you? You can go look out, what does an eagle mean? What does this mean? And you're going to find these interpretations. But once you read them with discernment. Does that feel right to you? Because it's always going to come from your perspective. So what feels right to you, and follow that. Consentia, how are you? Welcome. That painting makes me smile every time I see it, because my memories. People ask me about my regression memories. The majority of my regression memories are laughter. We laughed all the time. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. And there you go, Carolyn. Listen to Marcy. She has her perspective on it, and if it rings true to you, then absolutely do it. Siddharth Kohli, welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Hey, guys, we're going to wind this down in about 5 minutes because I'm only doing an hour on these nights. So, Carolyn, on my channel, Jhon of New, up in the search, use the search function and type in the words 44, the letter 444, the number 444, and more. And you're going to find a video about me talking about repeating numbers all the time. You'll definitely find that there. Aloha, SKM. Yeah, life is good in Hawaii. I'll bet it is. Am I going to go on a book tour when it comes out? I don't know. I enjoyed meeting everybody and hanging out with everybody when we did the Columbus thing, but it really didn't do anything for us in the business, and it really that was like one of the busiest weeks of my life, because I was doing private sessions all week, and then I packed everything up and drove to Columbus, set up that whole booth, did that whole thing, and then met some of my close friends. Ashley was there, and Marcy was there, and Georgia was there, and Jenny Brown was there, and so I get to meet a whole bunch of people that I truly love, and that was well worth it. But the book signing event was not worth it. By the way, if you guys want a signed copy of Signs Along the Path, go to my website, johnofnew.com. There's a small number of them left, and there's a discount price on them. Holly mails them out directly, but she and I sat down and signed all the rest of the books, so they're all signed and ready to go. And if you want to get like $5 off that book and that gets you that book's autographed and everything. So, God damn it, Jorge. Yep, Recovering Catholic is also me. Thank you, sir, very much for asking the question. People often think that somebody has taken my stuff and created a second channel. I created the Recovering Catholic channel for the sole purpose of so many people that I work with who are recovering Catholics. And I wanted to make something that was recovering Catholic specific, because that's what they were looking for. So, yes, I have two channels. I have Jhon of New, which is about to hit 26,000, and I have the Recovering Catholic, which is about to hit 12,000. So, subscribe to them both. And subscribe to Marcy's channel, Spirit Made Me Do It, over there. And anybody else on here want to promote their channel, this is the time. Go ahead and say it. Let us know so we can all go check you out. Jumping down. Hey, Beyond Biblical Belief is here. How are you? Right now I feel great. I've actually been getting a good amount of sleep, a good amount of rest. I kind of been liking this little cooler weather right now. It's getting in the 40. Last night it got down to 37 here, but it's been in the low 40s in the evening and mid 60s during the day. So it's just been a lovely. I feel great. I feel really good. And anytime I can have coffee, I always feel good. See what I did there? I just snuck a reason to drink a cup of coffee. I love this comment, because what are you blaspheming? You are blaspheming against what they have chosen to believe. But if you saw the video I put up recently about the circular argument of Christianity, they're trying to save you from hell and damnation by bringing you to Jesus, but hell and damnation is a Christian construct. It's not in Judaism. It is literally made up by the Christians. And so they're trying to save you from something they invented. So, and the word blaspheming, that only means, you're wrong because you don't believe what I believe. So it's just judgmental stuff that if they were true followers of Jeshua, they wouldn't be judging, in my opinion. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to you in January. I'm sorry you had to reschedule. My schedule has been so crazy, and as I was saying earlier today, I have people contact me or will have a session with me, and they'll say, "I want to have a second session. Can you do it next week?" They don't get it. When you look at my calendar, when you go to book a session, if there's nothing on the day, that means I have 12 hours booked. And now 12 hours does not, everybody always thinks that it means I have 12 sessions a day. Doesn't mean that at all. For every session I do, an hour before I sit down and I sit in love and with their name on a sheet of paper, and I just exhale, and whatever thoughts come into my head, I write down on a page. And basically, people would call that a channel message. I just say I'm putting myself aside and tapping into the oneness with them as the focus. And I write that, and then we have the session. So I probably get 4 or 5 in on a busy day. It all really depends on what time the first person books, because there's a buffer in between them all. And so, but in between all of those, I've got to make all the videos and everything else. So, yeah, my schedule right now, actually, for a while there, I was 8, 9 months out, and right now I'm only 4 months out. But it's going to pick up really soon, because over the next few months, I've got a couple more interviews coming out. And then in March, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to do a live show with Alex Ferrari. And he's also going to bring me in the studio, and we're going to do a third interview in studio out there. And while I'm there, I'm actually going on with another big YouTuber on his channel, too. So it's going to bump out again to 8, 9, 10 months again. But right now it's only 4. So if you're interested, this is the time to book. Yeah, we have a great group that's coming back. I love it. Goodwill Hunting. How you like them apples? Conscientia, thank you for the Conscientia. Thank you for the super chat. That's very, very helpful. I'm about to wind this up, guys. It's 9:02 right now. So I'm probably going to miss somebody else's question down here. What's your Bright Love? What's your video channel? And what's your podcast? Put it up there so people can find the link on it. I don't remember what it is. I'm so sorry. There you go. Marcy, you're on it. Be Love Podcast. Oh, see, you guys are just on it. I'm late to the game. Carolyn, you're close to my heart. That I promise. Coming down. I just said how far I'm booked out 4 months till I'm into February right now, but it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get longer and right now, like I said, we've had an uptick in the past 3-4 weeks where the channel has started growing quickly again. So, 1,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. So it's going pretty quickly. So, yeah, I'm having a growth spurt right now, which only means I'll be booking out further again. So grab a slot when you can. Guys, this has been an absolutely lovely time with you guys today. thank you all for being here. I totally appreciate you, and I love the loving nature of you all, and the kindness that you give each other, especially in the chat. I really appreciate you. I love you all, and you guys have a great weekend. And Ashley, I will talk to you at noon tomorrow about your channel. All right, I'll see you. Bye. Thank you for joining us at the Live Loving live stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and visit us at jhonofnew.com.